Welcome, everyone. I've gathered you here on this boat. 3 warriors to face in mortal combat. All of you have a very important role to play. You, Michael, you will get revenge on Shang Tsung for killing your brother.
What? My brother's dead?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to tell you this way.
Who killed him? The guy on the boat right now fucking killed him.
Well, yeah, that guy, but don't kill him right now, though. There's rules.
Why not?
There's rules. I can't explain to you right now, but there's rules, trust me.
This is ridiculous.
That's why I brought you here, so you could get revenge on him.
Well, I'd rather call the cops. He should be behind bars.
You probably should, but you're actually going to be facing him on Mortal Kombat instead.
Shit! He looks ripped.
Yeah, well, good luck.
Jesus.
And you, Brendan, you will finally get revenge on Kano for doing what to you now?
He sabotaged my pastries.
Your pastries?
Yes, I make lots of pastries, and he sabotaged all of them.
Aren't you part of, like, the Navy or something?
I can't bake on the side?
I guess so. All right, then. And you, Johnny Cage, Wait, you're not Johnny Cage.
Hi, guys. No, you're right. I'm not supposed to be here.
Where's Johnny Cage?
Johnny, does he wear glasses?
Yeah, usually wears sunglasses, a Hollywood-looking type. He's got a good look a little bit.
I think he gave me his ticket. I just happened to pick out his luggage out of the water there, and he just thought it'd, do me a favor.
Can't do that. This is very important. Earthrealm is depending on all 3 of you, and he just passed his ticket off to... What's your name again?
Ron.
Ron? Do you at least have a cool last name, like Cage or Blade or Kang of some kind?
Yeah, it's Ron LaFlame.
We got Blade and Cage, and we got fucking LaFlame over here. We should... Whoa, watch out for LaFlame.
Do you at least know martial arts of any kind?
What's a martial art?
Oh God, we're so screwed.
Is that like painting a picture?
Mortal Kombat! This is JPar, and this is the We Promise Nothing show. This week on the show, we have Dabu and special guests from Podfiction, Brendan and Michael. But before we get into that, I'd like to remind everyone the music you're listening to right now is brought to you by SoundsLikeAnEarful.com. If you need great music for your podcast, check them out, SoundsLikeAnEarful.com. Now this week we are reviewing Mortal Kombat, and we have our special guests. Say hello, Boo, first of all.
Hey, guys.
And we're going to say hello to our special guests from Podfiction, Michael and Brennan.
What's going on, guys?
Yeah, living the dream.
Yeah.
Living the dream, guest starring on We Promise Nothing, yeah.
I made it big, Mom.
It's the big time now, boys.
Dreaming big here, guys.
Yeah. YouTube money's coming in.
From one podcast to another.
You are now internet famous.
Yeah.
If you weren't before.
We
All right. Oh,
We have 51 cents in the bank. What are you talking about?
You're about as famous as we are. So this week was a choice from our guests because we met them at the Northern Game Expo and they are video game fans. So I guess they decided to punish us with a bad video game movie. That in the form of New Line Cinema's Mortal Kombat. It was, of course, released in 1995. And it is directed by Paul Anderson. And actually, I guess they co-written by Ed Boon and John Tobias as the guys who made Mortal Kombat, but I guess it was adapted by screenplay by Kevin Droney. Wow, what a great last name. And so anyways, just a few little facts before we get into the review of it. A little bit of trivia and facts. Brandon Lee was said to have been originally cast as Johnny Cage, but unfortunately had passed away before production had began. He also tried out for the role for Liu Kang. And originally the character of Kano was Japanese American. However, Ed Boon and John Tobias were so impressed with how Trevor Goddard portrayed him that they retconned Kano's history in future games to make him Australian, which they thought was Goddard's nationality. They later learned that although Goddard gave Kano an Australian accent, Goddard himself was actually born in England, but had claimed to be of Australian descent.
Awesome. Good job.
Hey, whatever gets on the movie, right?
Yeah.
Though born in Great Neck, Long Island, Christopher Lambert's family left the U.S. when he was only 2 years old. His father was a United Nations diplomat assigned to Switzerland, and as a result, Chris was educated at private boarding schools in Geneva. Jean-Claude Van Damme turned down the role of Johnny Cage to do Street Fighter in 1994. Great, yeah.
What
awesome.
a good job.
What a great choice that was, because that movie
Boosted
was
his career exorbitantly.
because the character in the game was originally based on him.
Really?
Apparently so.
That's cool.
The film soundtrack went platinum in less than 2 weeks, and I'm sure we all know that one song. As soon as we think of Mortal Kombat, very much ripped off from like the Twilight Zone, if you couldn't tell, which was done by the Immortals. I don't know. I guess they just sampled Twilight Zone. They threw in a bunch of Mortal Kombat sound effects, and that was their Mortal Kombat thing, and it's stuck ever since. Because every time you think of Mortal Kombat, you always think of that Mortal Kombat
Awesome song.
Johnny Cage.
Fatality. So Ed Boon, co-creator of the original video game Mortal Kombat, starred as the voice of Scorpion. Steven Spielberg, an avid fan of video games, in particular Mortal Kombat series, was set to make a cameo appearance as a director in Johnny Cage's first scene. However, scheduling conflicts forced him to back out, or maybe he actually saw the first take of the film. Maybe that's why. But nonetheless, the director character in the scene does resemble Spielberg, if you did notice, which is most likely a reference to this. In real life, Christopher Lambert is an enthusiastic gamer himself. Apparently, even Cameron Diaz originally set to play Sonya Blade, but she broke her wrist before filming and was replaced by Bridget Wilson Sampras. Yeah, it's like, whoa, I don't want to be a part of this. It sounds like there was like a lot of like good actors that were supposed to be in this, but
yeah, and then like the whole movie,
they're like,
everybody's backed out.
Alright, and the original screenplay for the film was more faithful to the game than it had graphic violence and strong language, making it an R-rated script. Of course, this is PG-13. And Christopher Lambert also voiced Raiden in the French dubbed version.
You almost went French on us there.
Sacre bleu! In the French dubbed version of the film. And the premise of the film is greatly influenced by Enter the Dragon, 1973, that famous Bruce Lee flick, if you haven't noticed. Note the three fighters, the transition, by the way, the old style boats to the island, and the final battle with the old man. And Liu Kang was supposed to duplicate the acrobatic flips. Like, me and you were going to laugh about this one, Boo, because we were laughing about when we were watching the movie. So Liu Kang was supposed to duplicate the acrobatic flips of Sub-Zero's down the ramp during the fight, but Robin Shao couldn't pull it off successfully. After a few takes, instead of the acrobatics, he just ran down the ramp yelling like a maniac, and that's the shot they used.
Are you talking about the one where I was commenting?
No, he does that little stupid thing.
He does that stupid Superman punch to nothing in the middle of the air while he's running down the ramp. Yeah, and then keeps running towards Sub-Zero. It's like, wow, you're pretty, you're pretty threatening.
Oh man. So yeah, this movie is PG-13. Stars Christopher Lambert as Lord Raiden, Robin Shou as Liu Kang, Lyndon Ashby as Johnny Cage, Kari Haruyuki Tagawa as Shang Tsung, I said it, Bridge Wilson Sampras as Sonya Blade, Talisa Soto as Katana, and Trevor Goddard as Kano, and other people. Because you didn't even know who the last three people were that I said, so exactly.
So there.
Take that home. Take that, jinx. All right, so you know what? You guys recommended this movie, so you guys can go first. First impressions of Mortal Kombat, and tell us how it affected us when you were growing up as a child when you first saw it.
I love Mortal Kombat all around, and I don't care what anyone says about this movie. It's fantastic.
It's actually a great
It's got
movie.
some bad parts in it where you're like, but, oh man, just, Mom, please, rate this movie for me.
Is there blood in it? No.
And there's not.
There's not.
There's not.
Oh god.
Except for that last scene where, like, Shang Tsung gets punched and there's, like, blood on his lip. Other than that, there's not really much blood in the movie.
At all.
Except for when you get, getting exploded into body parts.
Yeah, you're getting like put through the spike, but he's fine. He walked it off.
Yeah, he blew up at the end. There was like a hand and a leg. Was it? No, it was a scorpion that blew up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he bled fire. That doesn't count.
Yeah, he bled fire.
I used to watch this like when I was a little kid. I would like go to like the like corner store or whatever and rent it all the time. I've probably seen this movie about like 50 times. I loved it. Like ever since I was a little kid, I defend it to this day that it's a good movie. The second one I can't defend as much. I'm sorry, but the first one will always hold up as a good film to me.
Okay, so what's your first impressions of Mortal Kombat, Dabu?
I don't know if I went out of my way as much to go and see it, I'll have to admit. I think for me, when I really think way back when this movie came out, I do remember kind of being astonished at how the effects of this movie were great. And then when you look back at it now, it's like, oh my god. Honestly, I think there's just a lot of blend of everything great for nostalgic reasons and a lot of things that I think were quite original in their own little way. And I'm not even talking about Leo King's running down the ramp and punching the air. That's just really stupid. I can deal with that, though. I just love the fact that there was just a lot of basic little elements that were directly out of the video game that were purposely put into the movie that, within a fraction of a second, the second you hear it or see it, you know right away that's the video game they're trying to portray, right? Mm-hmm. Whether it be the occasional use of the theme song, when suddenly, enemies are coming in the room and it's like, okay, now we know this fight's serious, right?
Yeah. They're using the theme. It's serious.
Yeah, it's official. The fight starts.
Yeah. It'd be like it'd be like fatality. Your soul is mine. All that stuff was like really cool to see and say.
That brings up another comment for another reason. But you and I had comments about that. How they used the wrong catchphrases at the wrong time. And you and I looked at each other, Jay, and we were like, you know what? If they would have used this catchphrase instead of another, it would have made that better. Better sense.
Like at the end, he beats him. Liu Kang beats him. He's like, flawless victory. He's like, that wasn't flawless. It you many times.
I hit you several times. There's nothing flawless about it. And a couple times we should have yelled, finish him. And it's like he never said anything. He just
walks up to him and takes his soul. He's like, well, he's mine now.
But yeah, there's a lot of great things that just brought back so many great memories. Whether it be the frustrations of the video game itself, just being
extremely hard.
Well, a lot of things. Just me sucking at the game more than anything.
Nobody beats Sub-Zero.
But just a lot of cheesy lines throughout the entire movie that had me smirking the entire time. But at the same time, you cannot take this movie seriously.
No,
There's absolutely nothing. No matter how they try to be serious in some moments, they completely lose my attention when stupid lines coming out of Raiden's mouth or
my friends will show up. Your friends are here. Oh, there they are. Perfect timing, guys.
But yeah, just a lot of great memories. And I think it's simply said, it's just a movie that just brings back a lot of interesting stuff.
I think when I was younger and this came out, video games were starting to become a thing. This was like the age of Super Nintendo, and I worked at a video game store, probably around this time too, and I don't know. I know they were trying to make these video game movies. Obviously, Super Mario Brothers was like the first failed attempt, and then everyone was just like, you know what? That did awful. Let's keep trying at this. And they gave this movie, let's just beat a dead horse to the ground. Like we got Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Double Dragon. That was another bad one.
I say Mortal Kombat's probably the best that came out of all of them.
And that's the thing.
It's the best out of the worst ones.
It definitely was the best out of the worst at the time. Oh, I think Resident Evil came, but that one was successful. But that was like after. That was like
that's
way
like
after.
a couple years. Yeah, that was like I think
that was
late
another
90s,
one.
early 2000s.
At least a few more years.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat's been out a little longer than most people realize.
It definitely is. It's not as old as the 4 that I mentioned. But yeah, so it's like, okay, when I was like gonna see this, I'm like, oh great, whatever. Another bad video game movie with cheesy special effects, right? So when I watched it, and I was like, well, I took into consideration Mario Brothers and the Double Dragon, Street Fighter, it's like, that wasn't that bad, actually. And it's like, the reptile effect is pretty fucking awful. And you know, and then when I saw that, I'm like, oh, they're never gonna get Goro right. And then I saw Goro and I saw the animatronics. I'm like, all right, I can handle that. Because after I saw after I saw the CGI bullshit of Reptile, I was like, oh god, I'm so worried.
Those bright colors.
So at the time, it wasn't a bad movie, and maybe at that time I probably would have said, okay, well that movie's a 3. You know what? A lot of movies have come out since then. Effects are a lot better. I've also seen a lot more movies since then, and I've also seen Enter the Dragon since then too, so I know the good version of this movie. So, with that being said, I'm just going to give it a rating right now, and I'm going to give it a 2.5. It is a fun movie. I mean, it does pay a lot of nostalgia, and there is, a lot of things that do pay nostalgia to Mortal Kombat 4, but overall, just too much cheese to take it seriously, or, to make it a repetitive view. All right, so what would you rate it, Brendan?
I would give this game a Striker out of a Scorpion.
What?
It's like Striker the character, like just the cop who's like regular cop, who's like gun is a weapon. Why is he a character? There's nothing cool about him.
Hey, Striker's awesome.
Striker
I love
is
him.
Not.
Yes, he is. I stand from afar and throw grenades at you like a cheap bastard.
It's like, here's this cool guy, and he's like, oh, this is my partner. He's kick butt, and he's like, oh, here's Striker. I have a pistol.
And grenades.
And hand-to-hand combat. Like, everyone knows hand-to-hand combat. Dude, get special.
Doesn't he also have the police baton?
Yeah,
he does.
And his X-ray, like, he batons you in the... I don't know. It's just like... It's like, we're out of ideas. Somebody give me something. Oh, police officer. All right, good.
Cool. And
so what's a Striker out of Scorpion? What's that rate of a 5-star system here?
2.5. 2.5.
2.5. Oh, damn, another 2.5. All right.
Well, I have to say, out of a good old IMDb rating of 10, I'd give this one...
Well, you got to give it a 5. You're not on IMDb, sir.
I am on IMDb.
No, you're not on IMDb!
You can't control me anymore.
It's not my contract.
Oh, here, sir, we rate with 5 stars. Take it or leave it.
Jesus. I'll give it a 3. How about that? I'll change it up.
Oh, wow.
I'll give it a 3, a good solid 3.
That is pretty solid.
Still pass.
Yeah, mostly nostalgic purposes.
You know what? I'm going to be on the opposite end of that. I think I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5.
That's fine.
You know what? it could have come close to 2.5, but I think just because there's just so much...
Because Reptiles is just stinking piece of shit.
I was actually kind of going back to what you were bringing up, how, yes, Reptile, the effects of Reptile were screwed up, but at the same time, Goro, they kind of...
But even the transitions through like Shang Tsung and like other characters like Liu Kang's brother, that was really good like transition effects. That was actually very well done.
Good
For that time too.
Yeah.
Like, but you gotta like put it against like movies like Terminator 2, which had some of the most amazing effects
of course.
at that time.
Yeah.
Like that still competes with effects today. So.
We also have to keep in mind the budgets were different though. But I think it's safe to say though, when you look at the subtleties of some of the effects in Mortal Kombat,
they're very smooth.
Great.
Yeah, exactly.
The ones that are much more in your face, like Reptile, you can't get away from not having Reptile rendered the way they did.
No.
But I think it was kind of like what Jay and I agreed upon when we seen the movie there, when they got to the point where Reptile became the fighter. Yeah. They should have started with that.
Yeah, exactly. That would have been a lot cooler.
Find ways to.
That was actually one of the best fighting scenes in that movie, hands down.
Yeah, I like that fight scene a lot. What they should have done, it could have been like the same kind of concept they did with.
Instead of having have him just as a guard for Katana, just plain out, just look like that.
Well, I thought he always morphed into the Reptile mode, so I kind of felt like they should have actually gone that extra mile to say, oh, he's still a fighter and part of the tournament, but he's under direct control under Shang Tsung. So, you know, they could have gone both ways.
Yeah.
Just don't have... They force themselves to have to render Reptile the entire time because he's always hiding in the background as this chameleon.
Yeah, no, he's a lot better character than what they perceived him as in that movie. But I think it took a lot of years to realize that with like new games and whatnot to actually make Reptile a good character.
Yeah, but they certainly could have learned after all the years of what they could have done.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know, it could have been approached differently too. For all we know, that they got Goro reasonably done right. With the limited resources. But
maybe just
Reptile could have been done in a very similar fashion. For all we know, it could have been very subtly used.
But I think you said something, if they used animatronics for him, then it would have been slower like Goro was.
Yeah, and that was very obvious about Goro.
But like my point, I said they should have just made him the Green Ninja right from the get-go instead of fucking around with some crappy CGI bullshit.
Yeah. And then if they wanted to use the Reptile CGI, they could have used it a little bit more minimally.
Which is funny because when I was reading
the
thing, apparently they added that in later because they thought they thought the fights were like too boring. Like the fights fights weren't enough to sell the movie.
That the movie was nothing but fighting after fighting.
Yeah,
after
yeah.
fighting.
Well, I mean, so how's adding a crappy CGI character going to make that better? Add more story. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
More stuff that explains things. And I agree, there is too many fights. So what you do is you give us more story in that part. You know what I mean? There could have been more story between Sub-Zero and Scorpion, or the thing of what...
Sonya Blade.
Yeah,
Or Kano,
that too. Like, I mean, even Liu Kang, I thought there was more like a thing they could have done with him, and they didn't do it.
It was more of a Liu Kang movie, though. That's what it was. Like, it was...
Yeah, basically...
Everyone else kind of took the backseat to him.
Oh, yeah,
that was
big
the
time.
main point of the story.
Johnny Cage takes a backseat to nobody!
That's a fact.
Yeah.
It's his contract.
It's either they did all of that, or they could have done the opposite, which I would have been just as fine with, which was more fight scenes, but with more of the theme song backing it up. Because I will never get tired of that.
An hour and a half of just that.
All right.
Get hyped.
I'd be fine with that.
Let's dig into this. What's our favorite and least favorite of this movie? Go first, Brennan.
Favorite in respect to, like, fights?
Well, okay,
Or
your favorite
scene.
could be... It could be an actor's performance. It could be, like, the set. It could be, you know... it could be anything about the movie. Or just a particular scene, even.
I loved the fight scene between Johnny Cage and Scorpion. That's a sick fight scene. It's the scene where he, like, jumps on the pole and starts doing, like...
Does that double backflip and
Starts
then
doing, like,
grabs
footloose moves, like Kevin Bacon. I'm like, this is what it's paying off right here. You know what I mean? This is a teen angst move.
And then just like, convenient shield right here.
Exactly.
Convenient spear.
Oh, don't even start with that. Like, what about him being punctured makes him, like, start to... never mind. That's
Don't
not
get
the
into it. That you can use that as your least favorite scene.
I love that fight scene. That fight scene was absolutely amazing. My least favorite thing is actually Goro. It just drives me nuts every time he, like, throw his hands in the air and, like, like, stop, man. We get it. You're tough.
Yeah. You get it. You're a big guy with 4 arms. No one can beat you.
Like, it just... You were beaten because you're, like, the dumb, slow character, right? And then, like, you were outsmarted by the other dumb character. Like, you wouldn't tell your friends that, like, I got beat by Johnny Cage. Like, nah. Like, his move was to do the splits really awesome and then punch a guy in the dong.
Yeah, it's like, you could actually do one move out of the video game.
Yeah.
Actually, you just brought up, reminded me of that one scene where Goro, that whole hands up in the air thing,
Yeah.
where it's the silhouette of his shadow, and he walks into the room and all you hear is,
Yeah.
and he's walking away.
Yeah.
His shadow's going off scene. It's like, what? You walked into the room just to yell at, what, the random room?
Yeah.
And then walk away and still screaming?
He's just angry at everything.
Heroin.
Yeah.
If you look like Goro, you'd be mad all the time, too.
I don't know. I
There's
think I might be
mirrors
happy
that
if I had, like, 2 extra arms to do shit. You know?
I don't think I would.
Things would get done so much faster.
And then you'd be much taller. You'd be like 8.
Yeah.
Gross. You'd be like 8 feet tall and just sad all the time.
Yeah.
Goro can't fit through doors. Goro can't hold his baby anymore. Life's tough for Goro. Because, like, you see that scene where he's, like, approaching Kano and he's just intimidating him. He's getting closer and closer and he's threatening him. Kano just looking at him with his robot eye going like, I see through you, man. You're a creature that hurts. So do
No,
I.
I'm pretty sure he pissed his pants and fucking cried. And he was like, I'm just saying.
I rechanged my least favorite part. It's not Goro. It's the way Kano eats and just spits his food. Like, stop, man. Even if you're the biggest badass around, no piece of shit does
I'm
that.
kind of a big deal where I come from. I'm like an underground boss.
Then he just throws like a whole chicken leg. It's like, I don't even need this.
Yeah.
I'm done eating.
I was starting to wonder if it was actually real food for
Yeah.
Kyle, because I swear to God, he just had to bite into it, and it just
like-
like it didn't even move.
And then throw it.
Yeah, and all just to put it in his mouth.
What kind of
just
animal
spit
is
it
that?
back
I want to know what animal that is, first of all.
Biggest leg ever.
Yeah.
Like, straight up a cow.
Like this big.
Huge turkey, I'm guessing. All right, Michael.
All right.
Favorite and least favorite.
I'll start off with my favorite. I'd have to say my favorite part of the entire movie is probably the ending scene, like the ending fight scene between like Liu Kang and Shao Kahn. It was just Shao Tsung.
Shang Tsung.
Shang Tsung.
He's saying his
Him
last
too.
song.
How are you?
That-
You're pronouncing it Shang Tsung?
Shang
Yeah.
Tsung.
Yeah, I just call it Shang Tsung.
Shang Tsung. Yeah.
Shang
I think the
Yeah.
T is silent, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Well, I'd have
You're
to say
silent.
Like,
I'm
whoa,
silent.
whoa, whoa! Everybody, calm down here. Let's not
have
turn
a
this into a Mortal Kombat.
Finisher.
Yeah. Oh my God, he ripped his spine out. But yeah, that's definitely like probably my favorite part. And then he's like turns around, he's like, "I'm your brother," and it's just like, he's not your brother. You know this. And then
this trick in the book.
But he like kind of believed him for a second. He's like, no.
And my favorite part when he changed back and he's like, oh, mine. It's like,
surprised?
Seriously?
Are you seriously surprised?
You know it's him the entire time.
It's like playing peekaboo with your dad.
Yeah. Peekaboo.
Whoa!
Surprise! It's me the whole time. It's like, piece of shit, Dad. I knew it was you.
And why is when he died on the spike, he went like from 40 to 90. He just died. And he was like, ah. It's like, oh shit.
And the spikes. Why was there not? Okay, it was a full circle, and then like they were raising them.
Through tinfoil.
It looked like
it did look like tinfoil.
It like opened. It looked like it was gonna like have a letter, like an S or something. And I was like, it didn't spell anything. It was just a bunch of like
random spiked.
Yeah,
it only came up where the dragon
was. Yeah.
So it just made a gross S.
Yeah. It's funny you guys mentioned the tinfoil because I think I even brought that up too. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
After the spikes went through, clearly that floor is not going to be used ever again because it was permanently punctured. You could tell the actual spike coming from the floor. Right?
Yeah, that scene's gonna be hard to redo.
I was like, that was a one-off shot. So if they screwed that up, they would have had to completely redo the floor.
Oh, but yeah, definitely. That's probably like the best fight scene in the entire movie. I'd like have to say, and to go to like my worst, like my least favorite part is probably Kano and Sonya Blade's fight because it was one of the most boring fights I've ever seen in any movie. Humanly Possible was like, ugh, she gets like kicked in the ribs like so hard, and she's just like, I'm okay, gets up. Puts her legs around his head, and you can see that you could like this guy could just like pick her up and drop her on it, and like easily kill this girl.
Easily.
Even though like he's not supposed to, like he can just toss his girl, and then she's just like, you can see like there's no muscle in her leg. No. So like a person that can like grab you and like flip you on your back has to have like fairly muscular legs.
She had no leverage, more importantly.
Yeah,
I think it's the fact that
in
she was
sand
upside down.
She's doing a handstand, and she just happens to have her legs around his head.
And then she's gonna pull a guy that's like what, like
200 pounds,
220, just like rip him forward. It's like okay, and then just snap his like neck with her ankles.
I think that
that guy was like a much more interesting character than her too, and a much better actor. I actually would like to see him. I always when I saw it, I was like, what? That's it? Kano's dead now? Yeah. Like that's it?
Re-edited
Come on.
dies.
Well, I think the thing that we're focusing on is funny that like it's so unrealistic she'd break his neck, but like Kano has a robot eye being led by a sorcerer who's watching the two of them fight.
We're gonna go reality here, people.
In an alternate dimension of Earth, like Outworld, like this, none of it makes sense. But you know what? I'm getting hung up on the reality of this.
Okay, we should all stop getting hung up because like we'd be like start at the start of it when his boat pulled up. That boat doesn't work. We know it. The sails aren't even intact.
All right, so what was your favorite and least favorite?
Favorite would be the ending fight, the boss battle.
Yeah,
and least favorite would probably be the Sonya fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
And boom.
Honestly, I'm going to try to narrow it down a little bit because I know that I could probably pick out little scenes that I really love. My most favorite. You know what? I'm going to pick one that I always laugh at, but I think I laughed the most at this scene because of how you and I both caught this, Jay. Was when Raiden goes on to describe what the situation really was, giving them painting them a picture at just how serious this tournament really is. When he goes on to use the line, billions of souls are upon your shoulders. In other words, no pressure.
Yeah,
no pressure. He laughs so maniacally, like it's like this is the funniest goddamn thing ever, and then he cuts himself off and realizes that it's not funny. So that would be my favorite because it's so awkward.
And then he's like, it's not like that full laugh. It's that weird Christopher Lambert laugh that he's been doing throughout this movie.
Yeah.
And then catches himself.
So weird.
Yeah.
It's like it almost
so weird, Raiden.
It kind of reminded me how he was almost like similar to bad comparison, but Q from Star Trek.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Very omnipotent, meaning he has no care for human life, for
yeah.
life in general, right? Because he doesn't die.
Yeah, so
Raiden's a
guy.
god.
But then why would he care if anything happens to our world?
That's the funny part, because he says that line, and yet you could tell that Raiden was written in as a character that had a soft spot for the human race, which is why he helps them in the first place. That's the only thing I got out of it. So I agree with you. It makes no sense. He cares for the human race.
But he's laughing at extinction.
He's laughing in their face like, ha! You gotta deal with this!
You're gonna do it?
Oh, wait. Seriously, you gotta deal with this. You can't do that. My least favorite actually is gonna be the opposite one, which was Goro being sacked.
Yeah.
It was funny, but it was so goddamn awkward. I'm like, okay, I get it. You got sacked. Dude, get up.
That scene lasts like 2 minutes.
Yeah, like Goro was like literally hunched over, like he just And I think Jay made a good comment. Maybe he's got 4 gonads. Hence he's got, twice as much pain.
He's got twice as much pain. He's got 4 testicles, like his 4 arms.
Hence it took him that much longer to recuperate after.
He's got that many more balls to hurt.
And then on top of it, they end that scene with him. Oh, actually, I don't know. This is where I was torn between Raiden's laugh at how ridiculous the scenario was to Goro's reaction to Johnny Cage's comment of, those were $500 glasses. Really? That's your fucking reaction to Johnny Cage? You know there's only one goddamn entrance to the fucking mountain. He walks up out onto this canopy or whatever, this balcony, let's call it that. There's only one way back in, and that's the door you just took. So clearly Johnny Cage has either went over the edge or he's hiding somewhere else. So not only was Johnny Cage saying the dumbest of lines, those are $500 glasses, asshole. It's the fact that he just doesn't even react immediately. He's like, really?
What is dollars? What are glasses?
He was confused.
I'm from
like,
a different time.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
That's like one of actually my favorite lines in the entire movie, I have to say.
And he crushes them so slowly, like he's squeezing them, they're not breaking. And like the last second, they're like, break.
And drops something out, and they're not even like broken very badly. It's like
you could undent them and put the lenses back in.
All I have to do is actually get the lenses done. Now I feel like a dick. I killed Goro.
Or the scene where he's falling off the cliff. Just,
Or one of the best scenes is where like they're in that boxing ring and Goro's fighting that guy and he's just picking him up with 2 hands and just punching the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Which I have a feeling you probably have a comment on that. But anyway,
Actually, I don't really have a comment on that.
That was my favorite and least favorite.
Okay, my favorite, and I think me and you talked about this, Boo, is the scenery. The set design was really awesome.
Oh, yes.
It did actually look a lot like Enter the Dragon, now that I think about it. But it looked really good, like the island, and like even the garb that some of the people were wearing, it just went along. It made you feel like you were a part of a Mortal Kombat, I will say that.
Right to the point where it felt like it was not only just a tournament, but it was in this other world.
They actually made it like look very, very different.
So the set, I will say, is like spot on. That's probably the best thing about the movie. The second best thing about the movie is how much homage that they did try to pay to Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Because when this did come out, when you look at other video game movies, i.e. Mario Brothers or fucking Street Fighter, it doesn't pay homage to the video games at all. They're like, it's just the same in name, not the same in concept. It's just like, we're going to take the characters, but we're not going to make it the same. We're just going to make up our whole fucking own story.
Yeah.
We don't give a fuck what your story is. We're going to make up our own story. This one actually incorporated the actual story of Mortal Kombat into it, and they paid a lot of great homages to it. So it's easy to see why this was the most popular out of the video game movies that came out during that time.
In defense of Mario, how do you make a movie out of that game? Like, seriously.
But the same could have been said about Mortal Kombat.
Exactly.
It's just a fighting game.
There's no storyline at all in Mortal Kombat.
But it's easier to do than a plumber who goes through pipes and rescues a queen who's captured by a dragon.
You got from old games was the booklet, and that's like it told you all the information you needed to know, and like that's like think about being the guy who has to write the movie, they give you a booklet to a game that's like 13
I feel so bad
pages.
for that guy. That was like probably the end of his
And
career.
he pulled the short straw. But honestly, with
all the game movies, I get fucking Mario.
Mortal
Kombat.
Mortal Kombat was like it paid homage, but it didn't pander to the audience. It's not like, oh, you're a bunch of nerds who like video games.
They could have
you know what I mean?
easily botched it terribly with a really bad storyline by ripping off a crappy movie and then just like gave like no care about it.
No, they just ripped off a good movie.
Exactly.
And that's the lesson. If you're gonna rip off a movie, pick a good one.
Yeah, exactly. If you're gonna rip off the first Star Wars, do The Force Awakens. There you go, boom.
You actually just kind of reminded me of something. When I really think hard on it, given that obviously Mortal Kombat never truly had a story, built into it. Each character had its own personality, and you could kind of make up your own story. But I don't think there was really a story.
There was a backstory to it that Boone and Tobias definitely did have, and they incorporated it very well into the movie, actually.
But is it safe to say that the movie introduced its own version of a storytelling, and then at a later time, the new Mortal Kombat games that came out started to incorporate the same type of storytelling?
We do see that Kano is definitely one of the things that changed because of it.
Yeah.
And even that theme song has been incorporated with Mortal Kombat, even in video game advertisements past that point. without the movie being there. So I mean, the movie is definitely still has a strong influence on what the story was, but there definitely was a story before this movie came out.
Yeah.
Tobias and Boone did make it, and it's there. If you like finish with all the characters, they all have their own stories. Yeah, they have their ending, but because only one of them actually finishes, and one that's only true.
So what you're saying is because I sucked at the game so much,
You
I
never
never
saw
got a
the
taste of the story. Period. Okay, I get
If
it.
it makes you feel any better, almost every Mortal Kombat doesn't follow the same storyline. It's like their own original adaptation, and like something different happens. Like, oh, this happened in the last game, but forget about it. We're gonna do new lore this time.
Yeah.
They kind of do. They kind of do change the lore up a bit every time.
But you have to think, like, that movie helped out that franchise so much.
Oh, yeah.
It boosted it into, like, a whole different level because it was actually a successful video game adaptation.
And there might not have been, Resident Evil, which is going on to what? There's 6 of them now? How many
coming out
movies?
like the new one.
Yeah.
aren't they?
How
Like,
many
pretty
movies? They're
soon?
still going. That
Yeah,
is
they're
the
still
longest.
going.
Resident
I think the
Evil
next one's the last
is
one,
the
though.
longest running video game movie series.
Yeah.
Successful one, if you want to call it successful anyway. Like in other
I
words,
said it was the longest running. I didn't say it was successful, but yeah, it is successful.
Most of that, I'm pretty sure all of them went into theaters. So
Like,
that's
if you
pretty
make
good.
6 movies, I would consider that successful.
I like the first 3. I haven't really seen anything past the first 3, but I really like the first
I was
3.
never a big fan of the movies with them.
They started getting a little obscure over time.
Yeah.
Like I think the first 2 for me, I think were the only 2 that hit it dead on the nail, and then after that they started doing their own thing where
Yeah.
the stories did not mix and match with the games in any way.
Well, I remember the first ones, they had some characters from the game sometimes come in and sometimes do
Wasn't like
things.
Chris Redfield not even in the first movie?
No.
He's in like the.
No,
he's
he
like in the
was-
fourth
I
or
think
something
he was
like
the
that.
4th one, yeah. I think.
Yeah, and he's played by
Afterlife
like
or
Michael
something like that.
Jill was
Schofield,
in
who
the
plays
second
the
one,
same
though, right? Or the
character.
third one? Jill?
Jill Valentine, I think, showed up in the second one
Yeah.
with Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Is it Apocalypse? That's the name of the subtitle of it, eh? I can't remember anymore.
Nemesis?
It is. But anyways,
We're off track.
Did you guys want to hear my least favorite?
Nope.
This isn't a Resident Evil review.
Plot twist.
You came here for a Mortal Kombat review. Surprise! My least favorite, obviously, is that god-awful CGI reptile. That was the worst. And I don't know if Christopher Lambert's delivery of the lines is a part of my worst or part of my favorite of this. Because the way he delivers them are just so odd. You're just like, what? And then, like you said, the laugh he does that after he's like, oh, the fate of the millions lies inside your shoulders. And then he just like stops laughing awkwardly. I'm like,
shouldn't
this
be
is
laughing
so
here."
weird. It's so odd.
Whoops, I'm on the
whispering-
human side. Don't laugh.
It's like, wait, I want them to succeed. I shouldn't be laughing at them. So yeah, I mean, and those cheesy special effects, and even just some of the lines, like the overall cheese does kill the movie. So that's like, it's like I said, but the reptile thing, that was just way over the top. That was just, ugh.
That was your finishing move?
That was but the fatality
That was
towards
a fatality
me.
in the
Yeah,
movie.
towards me.
At the end, they punch in their combo, and you have to sit there and watch just terrible CGIs and then you explode.
It's just the guy screws up the combo at the end, and Liu Kang just like, just one punches him. Well, that was anticlimactic.
I thought that was Goro's move.
Oh,
Yeah, that was terrible. Goro's finishing, he's like, finish him, and he just punches the guy in the face.
That was it.
no,
And
it's
then,
all.
yeah, what?
Yeah.
Rip his arms off.
I think it's safe
and
to say we were
nothing,
expecting a
like,
level of gore.
Couldn't
Yeah.
even done like a backbreaker, like Bane style, like.
No, it's also funny that we didn't bring up how, like all the souls that Shang Tsung took, from people went in a completely different fashion. One went through the eye, one went through his hand. And
Yeah.
He never took a soul the same way.
Well, we
And that's
take
the lesson to
souls, you
learn.
never take them the same
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. Well, people already seen me do this once. I gotta show them what else I can do.
He took it through the eye this time. Did you see? It's crazy.
Yeah. Hey guys, how about I line up all my
Hey, guys.
favorite fighters and show you what Sub-Zero can do?
Well, see,
The best part of that is when they line up.
just like throwing all these punches and
They
the
line
guy's
up
like,
all their
"Eh."
fighters, and if you look at the front, it's just a bunch of cut dudes. But as you go further back, it's like the kind of unfit people. It's awesome. Like some guys got big arms and a bit of a gut.
it was
They all
literally
got some
someone's
guys.
job to line them up from most buff to least buff.
Tony, you're gonna go in the back. Aww.
Hey, that's not my fault. You skipped core.
Yeah. I'll suck in my gut, I promise.
Yeah, you
no,
said the last
no,
shot.
too late.
You guys were paying attention to those guys,
Yeah.
not the actual 2 fighters that are actually.
No. There's a room full of buff men.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the buff guys. Sorry.
We scanned that room.
Yeah. top to bottom.
And it's like they make this really nice meal, and then they put it all out, and they just fucking throw it everywhere.
That's what I said. Like, what a waste of fucking
There was a
food.
scene where they're just like, they move everyone and they're just tossing their like seat
bringing in
cushions.
more food too.
Did you notice too? Right after that moment, after they flipped the tables,
Super clean.
Yeah, they not only just flipped them upside down, meaning they didn't move it. They just flipped it right there, and then all of a sudden the next scene changes and nothing is there.
Super nice.
All gone.
Well, did you see how many there was there?
Yeah, they mopped
There was
up
a
the
lot.
floor.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody just got a broom.
They
Enough guys grab them up.
They just came in, flipped the table, pushed people just awkwardly, less starting a fight, just pushing them, and then they grabbed their seat cushions and tossed them like, sit comfortably now, douchebag.
Better grab that because that's what you're sleeping on, asshole.
Well, welcome to Outworld, you Earth-realmian douche.
Yeah. You're not going to win this one. Guarantee it.
9-0 for us, sucker.
Yeah.
Come on, man. And then what's the rules? Like, how come just because Earthrealm won one time, they're safe? They lost 9 times.
They're not. Shao Kahn showed up. They're not safe.
I know, he broke his own rules.
Yeah, he's like,
Well, I made these
fuck
rules,
it.
I'm gonna show up anyways. Sequel!
Yeah, he blew up.
He's like, I rigged that thing.
All the best fighters and still couldn't win.
Yeah. We had a guy who shot ice, a guy who shot webs out of his hand. He's like a cool Spider-Man. That's what he had.
Yeah, that was a little weird. Scorpions,
Coming right
His
out. It's kind
harpoon?
of gross. It's like comes
why is
right
it
out
alive,
of. It's
though?
like, ew. It's like skin flaps open. And it's just like
I never understood why it was alive. Why couldn't
Yeah,
it
and then
just
you
be
actually
like a
see the
regular
blood.
spear?
That's like one of the most bloodiest scenes in the movie when
Yeah.
it hits the tree.
It just explodes. And,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's your blood.
Yeah.
and it's weird. Like, they should have did like a jump scare when he pulls off his mask and like hits the skull, but they're just like, blah.
Very well done
Yeah.
skull too, by the way. It's just like, I don't know if you want to see this, but now you do.
Worse is on top of that, the fact that he finds the shield and
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's so
spear
convenient.
right next to him.
Yeah.
It's like,
And
I
then-
guess that guy could put the shield
Between all these
that way.
rib cages, I found this.
It actually kind of looks like Kung Lao's hat. The spear, like the
The edges of the
Yeah.
shield were
Shao
cut. Yeah,
Kahn,
you're right.
he just like comes over and puts on his head. He's like, this is nice.
ideas. I think so.
Yeah. Does this look good on me, guys? Like, be
Be
honest.
honest. The razor blades are a bit overkill.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
No.
But this is Mortal Kombat lore, so why not?
Alright, so this has been us reviewing Mortal Kombat with Pod Fiction, and these guys, they do this all the time on YouTube. You guys make up funny stories to tell each other, and you guys
Oh, yeah.
like to play Mario Brothers 3 and such.
I like
very
to
good
play
at it.
Mike doesn't like to play it.
I hate it.
So, where can the listeners find you guys on YouTube?
You can find us under Pod Fiction. If you just type it in, you'll find our page. We're everywhere. You can you can find us on Facebook also, and we're on iTunes and SoundCloud.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah,
A
so
little bit of everything.
yeah, we're even on Twitter also. If you guys want to message us on there, we're pretty good with the social media. We try to keep up as fast as we can
We're
with
young,
like, responses
hip,
and whatnot.
we're with it. We use words like lit. We also say the word fam as much as possible.
We don't
Did
say
you say
that.
words like lint?
Also,
Well, we do our own laundry. Our moms don't do it anymore.
75% of house fires are caused by lint traps, so
Yeah.
make sure to empty yours seriously.
Yeah.
Like,
And get your carbon monoxide detectors checked.
And
okay?
knowing is half the battle.
Exactly.
As
this
you
is
can
Pod
The
Fiction.
silent killer.
Well, you guys really are hip.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that about Lynn. Thanks,
Yeah.
Pod Fiction.
We're Huey Lewis in the news hip.
Wow, that's
Buddy Holly.
that's like break your hip.
And there goes half our viewers.
Yeah.
We'll pay for each
Or
one.
we got a bunch more, depending who's listening.
My grandma listens.
All right, and as always, you can have a conversation with us at We Promise Nothing. Drop the G on Twitter, and apparently we're on Instagram. We Promise Nothing with a G. Apparently it's still there. Still haven't checked it out since last week. And you can give us a big old like on Facebook. We definitely like that. And of course, we want you to like, subscribe, and share. And of course, this is JPar signing out.
Dabu going bye-bye.
Michael.
Pod Fiction and Brendan. Yeah, we're taking off.
Man, you promised
Mike.
some money for being here.
Oh shit, it's gonna get messy, guys.
Mortal Kombat.
And if you disagree with anything you hear on the show today, or even if you just disagree with the way we're singing the Mortal Kombat theme, you can leave a comment below. But as always, we promise nothing! Good night.
We will meet you in Outworld.